Welcome to Gamble This.
I don't even know if I got the full thing because it takes a minute for that to start, but it's a good enough intro for the gambler.
Well, hopefully it caught it.
That's called post-production.
Yeah.
Off to a great start.
Yeah, wonderful start. Yeah, like Justin said, welcome to Gamble This, the unofficial, not really official podcast for the Gambler 500, based in New York. I'm your host, Chad,
I'm Nick.
I'm Justin.
and the disembodied voice in the distance,
Hello.
we'll just call him Erik. Told you we'd get him on here, CJ.
Fuck off.
So, should we, for those who don't know about the Gambler, or though, pretty sure
Quick
everyone.
run through.
I think anyone watching this knows what the Gambler is, but I'll let you and Erik go over that because you guys have more Gambler experience than any of us.
So, for anyone who doesn't know what the Gambler is, it's like the Lemons 500 meets geocaching mashed together, and you just bomb down some trails trying to achieve some GPS coordinates in some $500 cars and see who lasts 500 miles. If most cars don't survive, but it's all about who sends it the hardest, who gets towed.
Your car's been through quite a few gamblers already.
Yeah,
Miraculously.
yeah, she's still trucking though, so
It's falling apart around you, but she's making it.
we're yep. Just send it. I mean, that's what.
That's the motto of the Gambler.
Man, we like
So-
resurrected your car from the dead.
yeah, we did. It's
Took us a little while, but
So how many
Yeah.
Gamblers have you done?
240 did one in fall of 17, and then the 940 turbo did spring 18, fall 18, and frozen nuts 19. Hopefully it'll make it to spring 19.
Good talk.
Wonderful.
well, maybe we can edit that a little.
You could just start over.
We got a pretty good intro going. Nope, that's going to be 20 minutes. There you go. We still kind of centered?
Somewhat.
So,
Yeah,
Is
good
this still
enough.
recording?
maybe. Not really.
Off to a great start.
Back to business. Wonderful.
But yeah, hopefully it'll make it to the spring 19 event in the Adirondacks if it doesn't get totaled a third time this winter. Or if it does get totaled a third time this winter.
Either way, we're going to
Just keep on sending it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Worst case, put a tow bar on it. Just ride along.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
put a tow bar on it and tow you behind the trailer. The Silverado. Because I'm actually trailering up to the Adirondacks this year, so I can go full send. Not have to worry about driving home.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know what I'm going to have in the spring. We'll see.
Run the Focus.
Not quite yet.
Not yet. Yeah, let's say that thing's really nice.
I might run my Jeep this year. I don't know.
You need
that
to.
or I'm gonna get a different Jeep and run it.
It's not going to pass. Just run your Jeep.
Dude, we'll get it to pass.
Dude, just send it.
We'll
I
play
want
the
to
frame.
send it. I don't even care if frames at this point.
As long as it
Same.
runs.
Is it next? Is it next J or
Yeah.
they don't have frames?
Well, no,
What do you play?
unibody, same thing, but
We'll play the unibody.
Platform.
Buy a subframe
The
kit.
chassis.
right.
I mean,
Now
I got a frame
my
like that.
transmission cross member is starting to rot through, so I think I'm just gonna send it.
Good plan.
Jeep Loop's been through, what,
All
five,
of them.
6?
All 5.
All 5 gamblers.
Impressive.
Yeah, that thing knocks like nobody's business. We're down there beginning of 19 at Frozen Nuts. We're just we're chilling, loading up the Toyota, and you just hear this knocking coming up through the brush. It's literally just the Jeep Elope just barreling up across base camp, and it's like, oh, well, still going.
They do.
Hoping to have him on here one of these weeks.
I'm not sure where he's out of.
I don't know.
Syracuse?
Could be.
I think the Leach brothers are out of Syracuse.
It's not too bad of a drive.
No.
I mean, anybody who comes in from more than 3 hours out, I've got a fold-out couch if somebody wants to crash here for a night after a podcast.
As long as it's inside and not in this cold ass roof.
You'll be fine.
Sleeping in the office of frozen nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that.
Yeah.
How many have you run?
4. Fall 2017, spring 2018, fall 2018, frozen nuts as a passenger.
Yeah. Good navigator.
Yeah, you hear that, Craig? They'll never see this.
Exactly.
So, you want to start off with this?
I mean, we can just kind of pick random spots on there. What got you into the gambler?
Me?
Yeah.
Alright. So, it all started off with a Craigslist search for a cheap ass flipping car.
You saw the Crown Vic.
No.
Oh, that was on Craigslist at the same time of year.
Okay. Searching Craigslist for a cheap car to use in the wintertime, and I came across this 240 for $300. And I was like, sweet, what could go wrong? A lot could go wrong.
Everything.
Wound up fixing this Volvo in this old guy's parking lot out in Geneva for a month or two, give or take. And you know, I joined this Facebook group called Turbo Bricks, and come to find out that there's this guy that he might be on a podcast. His name is Sean. He's got a 240 wagon.
He'll definitely be on here.
Yeah. He wound up communicating with me like, hey, we both have 240s. We're both from Elmira. And he's the one that told me about the Gambler. And so the first Gambler I did, I took that. And yeah, so if it wasn't for looking for a cheap car and good old Craigslist, I wouldn't have found out about the Gambler. And you know, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of this webcam talking to you guys on YouTube about this right now.
How do you find out about it?
I heard it word of mouth several years back, and never really got around to doing it because it was out in Oregon, obviously. I'm cheap and not going to drive that far unless I have to. But I was gearing up because I saw they had the Detroit one, and I was trying to figure out if I could get my Bronco all the way to Detroit and back in a weekend. And after doing the math on the gas was going to be about $1,000, so I decided against it. And the very next day I see a Reddit post on, I think it was Battle Cars, and it was a post from the New York Gambler, and they were in the Finger Lakes. They drove by my damn house, and I didn't know it happened in my own state. So I just made it a point. I found the forum post, got Kevin's number, and I'm the only one I think who communicates with him 100% by text message.
Yeah.
But that's how I got there. Bought a janky ass Taurus for $300.
I remember that Taurus.
I saw the video of you guys killing it multiple times.
Oh my god, that Taurus was awesome.
It ran like a tank. It just didn't survive sitting. It sprung a hole in the transmission lines and pissed out all the fluid. My younger brother was going to run it the next time for his first Gambler, and they couldn't get it to drive in the damn yard. So I went back down to CJ's. We peeled the tires and any valuable parts off and scrapped it. Got exactly what I paid for it, minus various little bits and piece parts.
Right. At least you broke even.
Hey, you should have saved that cow catcher out front.
We did.
Nice.
I believe we did. I believe we cut it off. It's at CJ's. I think.
CJ, put it on Eagle 1 so I can rip it off in the spring.
No, if anything, it's going to go on the yard ass.
Yard ass.
He keeps wanting me to run the yard ass.
We've got a yard at the shop right now. Guy only wants like $400 for it. 5-speed muffler's already gone.
He's already got this, and it's a 5-speed.
Yeah. Can't beat that price.
Actually, on what you said, the very first time I heard the Gambler was one of those viral Facebook videos of the Gambler, the OG Gambler 500 out in Oregon. And I was like, that's never going to happen here. Cool stuff like this never happens in New York State. But then it did, so that's what happened.
Which one of the videos was it? Was it the guy with the sweet mustache?
I don't know. No, it was.
They were given a Corolla and they just buried it.
It was like one of those videos where it's like, I don't know. I can picture it all in my head.
Did it have a
but-
little Ford Courier, the blue one painted up kind of like mine, like Bigfoot? That was like the second Gambler I think they did.
No, I remember there was a giant old Lincoln Town car that was just like bashed into this huge pile of dirt, and it was like, this is the Gambler 500. Most cars don't survive.
Challenge
It's like
accepted.
all of these cool cars on these trails that probably nobody's seen.
That's what happens when you have BLM land.
Yeah. But I got into it because of you. It seemed like an event I would have heard of, and then one day we're at work and he's just like, "Oh, I'm getting ready for the Gambler," and I was like, "What's the Gambler?" And then he told me about it, and I had to find a vehicle, so I traded my old lowered Honda Civic for a 1989 Toyota pickup, and then just kind of overbuilt it. I don't think I've actually really gotten it stuck other than the ice and frozen nuts when we were climbing the mountain. But other than that, it's done pretty good. I always put the transfer case through the floor and the Adirondacks because I bottomed out and heard the nice loud crunch. I don't know if I ever actually
Did you
looked
get
at it.
stuck when you were scouting?
No, I don't.
Oh, you said you were stuck on frozen nuts at some point in the ice. We really didn't get stuck.
Well, it wasn't really stuck. I just had to put it forward.
Yeah, that's not
I
stuck.
was gonna say that's not stuck at all.
That
Stuck
was
was the 250 in the ditch.
that was the same hill that we were scouting at, right?
No.
That everyone got stuck on.
Nope.
No.
We didn't hit that one when we were
No, we
scouting.
were in Connecticut. Well, we were in a separate piece of state land at that point.
Okay. Yeah, so I thought that was the same part, the same frozen lake that we were
No, that
scouting
was
in.
where the big bottleneck happened. That was around waypoint 8 on
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, the death track?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the death track that you rode with me on when we were scouting.
Ew.
That bottleneck was
Ew.
hard. Never seen a CRV get buried that bad. Actually, no. I can say I have seen one, but that's because he didn't have the rear shaft in it. And if I go into that story, there's a good chance there might be some legality involved. So we're gonna avoid that story. But CRVs aren't meant to go off road, but keep seeing them. It's funny to watch.
I first heard about the Gambler from my previous, someone I used to work with, actually, Elmer. He used to work with him too.
Oh,
He had talked about it, and at first I was like, what the hell is that? And then I started working with you guys, and then you actually went to it and everything, and then I helped you resurrect the 940, and...
I'll say you're the entire reason that 940's on the road.
Yeah, we did a lot of work to that thing.
Yeah, we did.
Many, many hours at the shop.
I honestly can't believe it's still running.
I can't either. It's got to stay running until spring because that's the only car that I have with plates on it right now. So
It was rough, and then got it on the road, got all the work done to it. We were maybe a month out from the Adirondack inaugural run.
no, dude, that was like a week.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was like
Anyway.
a week.
He goes down to Kevin's, and I told him, as soon as we finished, I was like, if you total this thing, I will stab you. He sends me 2 messages, and only the second one shows up. Total but still runs. And I was like, oh, I don't want to drive down there and kick his ass right now. I opened the picture. It's still the background on my phone.
Yep.
It popped out of gear and found a tree.
Yeah, don't drive up Kevin's driveway.
Yeah.
Hike up Kevin's driveway.
I spun the whole way up when it started snowing, when we went down for Frozen Nuts. I spun all the way up to where I parked, and I was like, wonderful.
Saturday night before I left his place on Frozen Nuts, I was parked out front, and I went inside, talked to him for a bit. Like, well, I'm going to head out. And he goes, like, you walking down? I was like, no, my truck's up here. He kind of chuckled. He didn't think anybody was going to get up there.
It looked like a lot of cars had fun coming down his driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, his driveway's like this.
You missed it. Saturday morning, we're all just kind of chilling. Kevin comes driving down from the cabin with
Oh,
the
Sean
neon.
sliding down the hill.
Sean comes down the hill in the Volvo. I hear a smash. I look. His brakes are locked up, and he's just sliding down the hill.
Oh,
He didn't go off of the driveway. I'll give him credit. He stayed on the driveway, but he was locked up and sliding the whole way down. He's like, after that smash, my steering was a little tight, so he ended up riding in, that CRV, or did he ride with Kevin? I don't know, but I think he rode the CRV.
Actually, yeah, I think he rode the CRV guy.
So that CRV was pretty cool. It wasn't rusty, which is surprising for a gambler.
I believe he said it was a daily.
Nice.
That sounds familiar. That's really surprising for a CRV, that especially in upstate New York, that it's not rusted.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Like that
Every
generation usually
single one.
gone.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Sledding down icy hills and Volvos are fun.
Yeah. It's always a good time.
Mm-hmm. It was actually when I was scouting with these two right here. It was the first time I had driven the 940 in the snow. I got a lot of experience that day.
We get down by Greek Peak, and we turn onto a seasonal. I had to stop and put it in 4, so Nick had to stop behind me. I started going. I look back, and he's just swinging back down the trail, back down the road so we can get a run up to it. And I was like, well, I kind of feel bad now.
And I'm oblivious because I'm ahead of both of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just puttering along, looking behind me, staying on the CV, making sure he's still coming along. And then a few little ways up the trail, we both get up around the kind of uphill corner, and he was
$10 at work.
nice.
Nice.
And then Nick comes over to the CV. I'm stuck. So Eric walks down. We tried to push him up the hill and he wouldn't go. So I backed down and I had this sketchy $10 tow rope that I bought at a Christmas auction. Hooked that up.
few sketchy ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beyond sketchy rope. And I know people have towed a Cat 5 cable.
Oh my god.
I get back in the truck after he gets hooked up. I get tension on the rope. It holds. We get him up the hill. Nick was like, yeah, Eric was sweating bullets the whole time he was walking next to us. And I was like, yeah, I might need to replace that. I still have it in the truck. I do have another one to replace it, but I still have the sketchy rope.
Use it for tying up a transmission at some point.
Because if I get rid of it, I'm going to need it. Happens to me all the time.
It's usually how it goes.
Like, that's my superpower. I throw shit out, 2 weeks later, I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Without missing a beat every time.
Mine is keeping it and losing it.
Yeah, but then you know it's still around.
That's just more infuriating.
Yeah.
Because you replace it, find it.
If it wasn't for, I'm like 95% sure that Volvo has a locker in the rear end. And I mean, after we got the 940 fired up for the first time and we were ripping burnouts in the work parking lot.
Yeah, that was
They're doing that, and the police are just driving by like it's just nonchalantly like, oh, there's dual burnouts, oh well.
Turbo Volvos do pretty impressive burnouts.
No exhaust on it, sounded good.
Yeah, open downpipe is awesome.
Well, no, I can't say there was no exhaust. We had a section of, 5-inch pipe that I found?
Maybe?
Yeah, because I don't remember who, but someone replaced the exhaust on their
Yeah, on
diesel.
a Cummins, yeah, and we had that. It was bigger than 5 inches. It was like
Well, no, it was
Oh, yeah, 5
5-inch
round,
around, and then like
it was a good
3
pipe.
foot
Oh,
long. Nick had that as a tailpipe sticking out of the back of the Volvo.
till it fell off.
Like
Yeah.
that.
It looked good, and then it just no more.
Yeah, I remember
That thing's had like 5 exhaust tips.
that.
5
Including the one I
pipes.
welded AVG on, and then that fell off.
Yeah.
But,
That's
yeah, I
still
can't
kicking
weld.
around somewhere.
I'd make one out of Sapporo cans.
I've got a Sapporo can on it right now.
That works.
You ever seen a Sapporo can?
No, I'm lost over here.
Okay, there's a hibachi here in town called Sakura. Great food. If you get the chance, go to Sakura
Great
Steakhouse
food.
in
Awesome.
Canandaigua. They have Sapporo. I think it's Russian. I'm not sure.
No, it's Japanese.
Japanese. Cans are about yay tall, and it's like ribbed. And the running joke is they're made out of Chevy fenders because they're a really heavy duty can.
You can like grab it completely and try and squeeze it, and you're not gonna squeeze it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
If I ever need one.
I think Wegmans sells.
Yes, they do.
sells
For like
Sapporo.
$3.49 a can. They're good. But
I plan on taking 2 of them and putting them on my exhaust tips. 'Cause I got dual tips on my Jeep, so I'm just gonna put them right on together.
one of our coworkers, Dale, actually put 2 of them together and stuffed them under another coworker's car. And he didn't notice it till he got home and his daughter pointed it out.
It's like a little fart can.
Well, he put it on the muffler?
Yes.
On the
Yeah, on the
oh my god. Freaking Dale.
That's alcohol abuse, Justin. Come on, rookie.
Ow. I inhaled that shit.
Bro, don't drown.
I'm good.
Okay.
Just crack a little bit. Whew. Okay, we're good.
Alright. Anybody have a build in progress that they want to update?
No.
I mean, you're just beating your Jeep daily.
Yeah, I beat the crap out of that thing, but it takes it
The Volvo
so
just
well.
kind of does its own thing.
Yeah, it's
If you're friends with them on Facebook, you can follow the 940 Chronicles, and it's hilarious because every day it seems
Yeah,
like something else breaks on that car.
Actually, something broke today.
Good
So,
news, everybody.
I was looking for a charging port in my car, and I have this old briefcase, little suitcase thing that it's really cool. It's like mustard yellow. It's got this purple lines inside to it, and I was like, I can't let this just go into a dumpster.
I was gonna say, I never tested how long that thing can actually record. What do we have for time?
21.
Oh, wow. Doing good.
Yeah. So I couldn't let this suitcase go into a dumpster. It was way too cool and way too vintage and all this crusty, awesome, good stuff. So I'm looking for this charger port in here. I was mad because I couldn't find it, and it was sitting in this hat that I had just found in there like 2 days ago. So whatever, close it up, go and pump gas in my car because I had ran out of gas earlier today, but thankfully I had my gambler reserve of gas on me so I could make it to a gas station. And come to find out that the cash versus credit price is like 10 cents more, and I was like, I'm not paying this. So I went to close my gas door, and it just goes flying across the parking lot, and I was like,
Wow.
of course, take it, chuck it at the car because I was mad, and now I've got a slot like this in my taillights.
Oh my god.
It matches the half-inch of Bondo you have on your B-pillar.
The one good taillight that was in the trunk that did not get smashed from my car rolling down Kevin's driveway and parking into a tree.
Should have just thrown it in the back window. It's already smashed.
Yeah, you can't do much more damage than that.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it's...
could remove it.
I could.
Yeah.
Well, the plan was to
That's
cut that
pretty
thing
cool.
into a ute, but the whole body is just splitting apart from itself. So.
It's bad.
We're just gonna
There's-
weld more metal in there.
There's a hole like this underneath the rear passenger door.
It's the Flintstones brake system.
Yeah.
Well, there was
Yeah.
a big hole in his floorboard, but we went to the car show after the Gambler, and I drank a beer, and I didn't want the cup in my truck, so I stuck it down the hole. Didn't that make it to the fall Gambler?
Yes, it did.
Sweet.
And I lost it in a death track.
Plastic cups will survive all except death track.
People would say, "Is that a plastic cup hanging from there?" I was like, "Yeah, it's my gravity tester." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Because when it rains and the water would come shooting up through there, and so that plastic cup, the water hits it and it shoots right back down. That's gravity. It still works."
Nice.
Justin, did you bring the tool for tool talk, or did you forget it at the shop?
Yeah, that's the shop. But it's basically this like air hammer bit and an impact driver in one.
Yeah.
Or basically you put it in an air hammer, but to take like, you know, rusty screws out and shit. But it just
You know,
does
the
what
set
an
screws
impact
that
driver
shit
does.
Hammer-driven ones,
Yeah.
you just whack. So it's
Yeah,
just that
I have one of
air-
those.
In an air hammer.
I have to warranty
All
my Mac
impact
one at
grade
least
and
once a week.
everything. It's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Bought it
that
today.
Mac
Haven't
was
used it
cheap
yet.
as hell. It was part of a bargain deal, so I was like, yeah, sweet, I finally have one of them. I have broken the bits more times than I can count.
Just send it, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I sure for one cannot wait until the spring gambler.
Yeah, no, you get
I'm gonna
to
kill
pop your
one
gambler
of
cherry
them.
finally.
I know.
Good luck.
This dude.
I hope I kill the Jeep.
Just
Or
avoid
just
the
like
death
give
traps.
it. Yeah.
If,
I don't think that thing would make it.
Oh, it will.
if Jeepalope is still going, your Jeep will probably make it.
Yeah, my engine's good. Just everything else is falling apart.
That's like the Jeep.
Sounds like a Jeep.
It
sounds like a
I mean,
Jeep.
considering I hold my doors together with a ratchet strap.
Yeah, that pack of ratchet straps I bought at Rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's holding his door together right now. Like every time we go to
Works
Taco
great.
Bell on lunch, he puts it on the door handle and around the parking brake and tightens it.
Yep.
You don't even need a seatbelt. You just got the ratchet strap. You're fine. But remember that Jeep I showed you on the marketplace?
Which one?
Oh, the red one with the patched frame.
No, but that one was hilarious.
Yeah.
The one that was from the Gambler.
Oh yeah.
He made it through the death truck with that thing, and I think you've got better tires, so I think you can make it.
Try
If
it.
you really want to.
I'll send it.
You got Duratrax, you'll be fine. Goodyear, sponsor us, please. I've got no-name tires, but they're fantastic.
The
Nick runs
Duratrax are
whatever-
great.
Nick runs whatever snow tires he can find. And they seem to do pretty damn good.
Actually, the
The
tires.
Nordics were pretty good.
The Nordics were fantastic.
Yeah.
The tires that are on the 940 right now are actually throwout specials that were in the back of the shop that I was like, oh, these have good tread on them.
Yeah, because didn't you shift belts in both your front tires?
Front tires. Front tires were also shop specials.
Yeah.
But the rear tires are still good.
It's like we had a lady come in the other day, she was like, oh, I've got a thump in the front end. I started driving it across the parking lot and the car's doing this. I was like, the rear tires have shifted belts. I'm not even going on the road, I don't want to die. You guys see the Ford Rangers coming back?
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad looking truck. There's one sitting over in Shepherd's lot.
Dude, it's a really big looking truck. Like, I
Yeah.
saw it and I thought it was an F-150.
Yeah, because you were like, is that
first.
the new F-150? And I was like, I think that's the Ranger. It looks a little smaller than the F-150 sitting next to it.
Have you seen it?
I've seen them in photos, not in person.
I haven't
It's
seen
the
it in
Euro
person
Ranger
either.
that's been modified to come back to the U.S. is what it is.
They
Mhm.
look good. But the
They don't
front,
look terrible.
yeah, well, for a
They
Ford,
could look
good.
worse. We'll put it
Yeah,
back.
yeah, I like that.
That's like, I saw on Facebook earlier, they were bringing back, they have like a new half a cap for a truck that looks like a fastback.
I saw that.
Ugh.
Don't
I
get me
didn't like
wrong.
With
on-
the Lovers?
Yeah, I kill it with fire.
Exactly. But like on an SVT Lightning, it wouldn't be the worst looking thing. But they
Maybe
showed it
not
on an extended
terrible.
cab like base model, and I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Or maybe the Carroll Shelby F-150.
Yeah.
That
Or like,
wouldn't look
or like the
terrible.
Saline
Performance
F-150.
truck.
You haven't seen that dude? It's got like 750 horsepower.
There's a dealer.
Performance truck.
There's a dealership in Ohio that sells like 700 horse Mustang that they just kind of build on their own. They now have a 720 horse F-150.
They're still making those?
Yeah, it's in Lebanon.
Yeah, a little one dealer that just doing their own damn thing.
Yeah, I was like, I almost want one. But the funniest part about the Ranger coming back, it's been out for like 2 or 3 weeks. When were you at the shop? 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
2 days ago, I'm scrolling through my news feed, and guess what pops up? A recall on the 2019 Ranger. Apparently, the wiring harness for the shift interlock interferes with the shift interlock, causing it to either not come out of park or not go into park.
Same.
Yeah.
That's not a huge deal.
It's like 3,500 units across North America. I was like, you guys bring it back for 1 year and it's already got a recall. Come on.
Are there even that many trucks like out on the road yet? Like,
I'm not sure.
I think so.
Probably not.
They were maxed out on pre-orders for them, I believe.
Yeah, they did.
Really?
The
Yeah.
pre-orders are
I
like
didn't even know
back
they were
ordering
coming out
on
until I
those.
saw that one in Tyler.
I didn't know they actually had come out.
Yeah.
I thought they were still in limbo.
I remember they rumored
It is 2019 when they said they were going to have them out. So.
Yeah.
It's 2019.
Yeah, it's hard to think that it's 2019.
What do you guys think about the new Jeep Gladiator coming out?
Oh, that's such a good
I think
one.
that thing looks pretty nice.
I'm not big on the new Jeeps because, you know, minivan motor, the alternator's
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Gladiator does look pretty good.
But
It
I've heard
does.
that the Gladiator's gonna come in a diesel option too.
I doubt they'll get that in the States. Usually that's for like the
I don't
European
know.
market. Like
Yeah.
my
Or
Toyota.
Australian market.
My Toyota in Japan, I can get that with a 2.8 diesel, and it's a monster.
Yeah.
But I have the 3-liter gas job, and I
heard
really
it's
want
a-
to pull that out and put a 5.7 in there.
That'd be nuts.
Oh yeah, I don't think the rear end would take it because the glass rear end, but
Yeah,
oh
probably
well.
not. I feel like a Ford 9-inch in there.
I saw a Gladiator advertisement from Jeep on Facebook, and I was like, this doesn't look real. And then I was like, wait a minute, was that a truck?
I heard they're not even going to be too much more than the new Wranglers. They're only going to be like 35 grand starting off.
That's not bad.
That's not too bad.
No, I was expecting like 40, 50 to start.
It's like we're talking about these vehicles now, and it's like, ooh, it's so new. But then, like, next year or 2 years from now, you're going to be seeing them all over the place, and it's like, man.
The most humorous part is with all the new vehicle talk. You know, all three of you guys and myself included look at $500 cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we do.
I get on the marketplace and it's like, well, it's
Sort by
over.
cheapest.
It's over
Yep.
$2 grand. Keep
Yep.
scrolling. So most I've ever paid for a car was my daily right now. It's a 2011 SI, and it was like 13 grand.
Wow.
Most I've got is 7,
That's what I'm saying. My most
7
expensive
grand?
was like 11.
and that's with an F-150.
Same.
It's worth it.
Actually, for the Jeep I have right now, it's like $1,100.
Ooh.
Most I've ever spent.
Most I've ever spent was $1,200, and that was for the Black Legacy that finally rotted apart last year. So I drove that thing into the ground. But I mean, with $200, $300 cars, most fun I've ever had with a car.
Well, what'd you pay for that '64 Triumph?
That's kind of a family heirloom,
Yeah.
so that's been in the family for a long time.
Should make it a Baja Triumph.
You know.
Not that one, but another one.
You know, I've got that truck chassis out in the backyard. If you want to put it on that.
No.
Come on, we could
No.
stretch that thing right out.
No, we are not.
Yeah. Put a Carb 350 with some demo headers coming up through the hood.
Maybe
That'd
one
be pretty
that's
sweet.
not that one,
Okay, maybe.
but
Even if Miata would be pretty
They're-
cool.
Miata would be pretty
They're
cool.
pretty cool little Baja cars.
Well, that's like there's the one lift in Miata that runs out west almost every year. I want to say
yeah, I
Tate
know
built
what you're
that one.
talking about.
Dude, that's a good looking car.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of custom fabrication in a Miata for the Gambler with 250.
Well, that was the one. I think he got given a kit to try out on that one.
Still, that's pretty cool.
Whoever thought a long travel kit for a Miata would be a good idea, keep making them. That's definitely
Genius.
that stands out,
Right.
especially with the Swampers on it. It's like I think it's hilarious that, as far as like we endorse you guys, the fact that TSL endorses the Gambler, I was like, that's different. That's awesome.
What is this TSL?
Super Swampers,
Oh,
the company that
okay.
makes them. I wanted to get a pair for my truck, but holy crap, I can't afford those.
Well, maybe if they like us, it would
Yeah,
work
that'd be
for us.
awesome.
I doubt it, but that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun.
So, what is your favorite Gambler car that is not your own?
Oh, you're gonna make me think.
I was about to say, I've seen a lot of gamblers.
Let's
I'll say they're the dudes that ran out west with the Mercedes and the Corvette.
let's start off with New York first.
Okay, in New York, I would have to say, strictly for the impracticality of it, the short bus, Gary Bussy. We partied around base camp in that all night.
That was pretty cool.
Good people mover, not very good on off-road.
As far as like off in the trails and actually like usable, I would say the Forester, Eric Foot's Subaru Forester, the one that he made the brake rotor spacers for.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I was
like,
not expecting those brake rotor spacers
They're
to
still
last.
holding up. They survived 2 gamblers already.
That's
Like,
They
that's-
broke an axle before they broke the spacers.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
that's
Oh, they
some
did break
gambler
an axle?
ingenuity.
I believe they broke an axle Sunday at the nuts.
That's definitely one of
Nice.
the cooler vehicles.
Still, that video of them going into this mud pit, coming to a complete stop, but just pulling themselves out. It's one of the best Gambler videos.
Well, I think in the spring
Most impressive.
he wasn't going to be able to pull himself out. Man, No, you didn't make it that far in the death trap because you buried right before that.
Yeah.
You go over the
I
hill.
remember seeing the pictures of that.
Yeah.
You go over the hill, and then it kind of splits into almost 3 lanes. One's like super safe, super weenie hut junior. You just kind of putter along. The other one's a little more, you're on the edge of the pit, and then there's right through the pit. He kind of went along the top one and ended up half in the pit, half up. And I'm pretty sure I showed you the picture.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that poor Forrester. But I mean, they pulled it down and kept going, so you gotta give credit where it's due. That thing's a beast.
I can't wait to see how his Forester does. Paid $400 for that thing, and he's putting, not lifting it, but he's putting, I think it was 33 10.5s, 15s on it.
I don't want to be that dick, but sorry, Isaiah. I kind of doubt that you're going. I mean, you've got a long way to go to get that thing ready.
Come on,
Sure
bro.
do.
Oh, I think the wood stove died. It's getting
I'm
a little chilly.
I'm slowly rooting for him, though.
Check it.
Oh, I dropped the pillow.
Yeah, Nick is currently sitting on a milk jug with a pillow on top of it that I found in the upstairs of my barn.
It'll work.
There might be hepatitis on that pillow. Have fun.
We'll do.
Eric, what's your favorite gambler?
Come back to me on that one. I've been thinking.
Okay.
Favorite gambler outside of New York? Honestly, I would have to say at the Detroit Gambler, for least practical, all gold everything. That Saturn
Oh,
wagon,
yeah, that Saturn.
literally every square inch of it was spray painted bright
Yeah.
gold.
I
That
did
was
see
definitely
that
a cool one. As far as most practical, I want to say it's a Chevelle on like 44s out west in Oregon.
Is that the one with the rear engine?
No, that's a 74 Cadillac. That's the Tillamook guys.
Nice.
That thing is nuts. They actually did a simple rides on that car. That was
Yeah, I saw they Genius using the transfer case to direct the power backwards.
yeah.
I was wondering how they did it without using like a
Right.
boat drive or something like that. They
Yeah.
use
I can see that.
It's
Yeah, they
definitely
just hung
a
up
cool one.
205 or 203 vertically, so it's in and
Yeah.
back out.
Nice.
That was
I saw someone do that and make a wheelie van.
It's the same idea as the wheelie van.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the way
you
they
seen that?
relocate it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
roadkill guys did.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that was a boat drive, I believe, is what they were using.
Probably.
Except
Still, that thing
Tillamook
was
guys
badass.
just kind of they put the fuel tank and some tractor briefcase weights up front to keep it from wheeling constantly. They-
Nonsense.
They actually have some pretty cool rides, like that Crown Vic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to do that.
Show me that.
I want to do
yeah.
that to our boss's old Mercury.
We should.
Yeah.
We should try and get that. What is
Our
$1,000
boss bought
for it,
a,
though, but-
He had a son and now he went full grandpa. Had bought a Mercury Grand Marquis.
I wouldn't say it's full grandpa.
Oh, dude, air ride that thing just a boat going down the road. But it's funny.
Does it have the vinyl top on it? I can't remember.
No.
Okay.
Well, neither of them did because he bought one and
Kind of a little fender bender.
a fender bender
Totaled
and
it.
the insurance company totaled it. So he literally went on the Facebook Marketplace and found the identical car.
It's like 5,000 less miles.
Yeah, 5,000 less miles. Buys it, brings it to the shop. We change the wheels all over. Now he's driving that. The other one's just sitting out behind the shop, begging to be gambled. We've got a stack of cars at the shop that could be gambled.
We sure do.
There's the Yaris, that minivan. That's
So if you
completely
guys want to
run
get
out.
a gambler, let
Baja.
us know.
The Baja's still there for some reason.
I can't believe that thing.
There's like
Dude, I've thought about.
there's a
trying to
couple
get that
F-150s and a Forester
running it.
that just can't pass inspection anymore.
Colby started working on it, and then
Yeah, and then he kind
That kinda
of moved away
fizzled
from
out.
it, and then he bought his Jeep.
Tony
Yeah.
was gonna buy it, and then that fizzled out. Long story, not getting into it. And now it's just sitting out in the back lot, collecting rock.
Doing nothing. If you want to buy it.
I mean, legally, because it's owned
True.
by a used car dealership that has to pass inspection. So, I mean, worst case scenario, you find a Subaru tuner, he deletes everything out of all the codes out of the ECU. Then you pass it. Then you just gotta worry about that ball joint coming apart. Thanks, New York State.
Yeah. Does pretty good donuts though.
Oh yeah,
Did a
I
few
think
of
we've all
them.
ripped a few donuts. 250,000, everything's completely stocked on that motor.
275,000.
It's at
bro.
275.
Yeah.
I thought it was 250.
No,
Yeah, that thing's gotta need some work soon.
that thing is up there. Runs and drives though.
$50 when your lands go first.
Barely stops.
Yeah. Justin, you've seen enough gambler videos. What's your favorite? In-state and out-of-state.
In-state, I mean, I'm no gambler expert or anything, but I was cheering for the ambulance when it was running.
Dude, that
That
thing's still
thing was
running.
awesome. Is it still?
The orange and white Gambler ones?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the second version of the
Right.
Gambler Ball, because it's a Cannonball van.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
That's the theme. It's from the original, from Cannonball Run.
Oh,
Reynolds.
nice.
I thought that thing
Yeah.
looked familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was rooting for them though. They
No,
The
Travis and those guys. Travis is the driver of that one.
yeah.
They're pretty good. They followed us around for a while, despite us being lost 90% of the time.
Yeah, that was when they had I know in the spring they followed us when they had the B2.
Yeah, he had the Death Roof Bronco 2. That was puking transmission fluid gallons at a time.
The whole way back from like the furthest checkpoint we hit, we'd stop once in a while. He'd have to top off the transmission, keep going, pull back over. Dude, it was a steady stream going out.
Oh my god.
We were making it maybe 10, 15 miles at a time.
Rough.
That was
That's when you need your
100% me, spring 2018, because 940 had a bad crank sensor. And I didn't know if it was going to last 20 seconds or 20 miles because those were the intervals.
I remember you
Anything in
telling me about
between.
that.
Yeah, after the Death Trek Day 2 in the spring, I start heading back down here from the Adirondacks. I check my phone like 40 miles out, and there's a message from him. We might need a dolly to get the 940 home. I was like, I don't have the heart to tell him. I'm already heading back to the house. And then like 20 minutes later, I check my phone. Never mind, we're good. It's going again. Okay, send it.
Hey, it sent it and it got me home.
It
That
did.
940, man.
Good luck killing that thing.
Like I said, I'm surprised it's still running.
Yeah.
Volvos don't die. Rear wheel drive Volvos don't die.
I could agree with that.
Gotta put that motor in the 240.
It's going to happen. When the
Get a new
940.
turbo.
What?
Get a new turbo. Probably rebuild it before you do that.
Better yet,
It's still alright.
go to
Yeah.
the junkyard, find a 7.3 Power Stroke and take the whole set that's this big
Oh,
off of
yeah.
it and send it.
Oh.
That was the plan if I ended up building the mullet, because I was going to take a junkyard 5.3, junkyard turbo, 10 psi on a 5.3 is good for a lot more than it should be,
Mhm.
and I was going to send it, but there's no title for the Camaro, so that's just going to kind of be a pet project for now.
The right answer is 4.6 Crown Vic. 2 turbo coupe turbos. They're for 2.3 liter four cylinders. 2 of those.
There you go.
That's the right answer.
You could even go
Beijing
The-
Beastie Boys.
You could even go with the Saab 9.3 turbo, the Garrett's, because that's also a.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I had one of those on my Integra, and the turbo was fine. And then I just
Car
kind of
wasn't.
that car was falling apart. I missed that car. What a great gambler! Every suspension bushing was like.
Sketchy.
I launched from a stoplight one time, drag racing it. I ended up in an oncoming lane at about 20 feet. It just hopped across the lane, swerved back over, put it right back to the floor. Throttle cable pops out. Limp it down to the shop. Zip ties held that car together until I demoed it. Dead last. That was a fun car.
See, that's the perk of the Gambler is you might be able to reuse your car more. Might.
Might.
What's like that wagon we ran with in the spring? That blue one? They replaced their transmission like.
Oh, the
Like
guys
one.
who ran, that was the LTD wagon. They were head running the Lemons Rally escaping from Moscow.
I want to demo that wagon.
I wouldn't demo that wagon.
Those old
Those
Ford
things are
wagons are
hard to
wonderful.
find. I would drag the shit out of them daily.
Yeah, I would. I'd
He
pay,
wants to demo everything.
I'd
Dude,
pay
And
a
I'm
lot-
fine. We've had this conversation with Rose Nuts. I'm okay with people demoing what they own, but at least look conservative.
But
Yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah.
Demo cars are getting more expensive. So you
Yes.
buy something that's driver quality, drive it for a couple of years, and then you demo it.
Or gamble it for a couple of years, then you
Or that.
demo it.
Drive to the ground and then send her out.
Drive it to the ground again.
Drive it to the ground, put it on a Crown Vic chassis, and send it again.
Yes.
Because those chassis are a dime a dozen, and they take a lot of abuse.
Good old Panther platform.
Mm-hmm. God bless the Panther. You figured out what your favorite game
Well, I was going to go with the Gambler Ball Run van anyway. For
Okay.
New York.
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Cool. I think I've got a toss up of 3 vehicles that come to mind, and it's either
Is it
the
stuck in here, or is it just me?
It's definitely getting smoky in here.
Little carbon monoxide poison never hurt anyone.
Nah. Yo, we see
We
that.
drive gamblers.
Yeah, we see that with our vehicles on the trail all the time.
I'll say I had a real bad headache driving my truck the other day. I gotta fix that exhaust. It dumps right under the cab.
Same.
We're gonna put a snack on it.
Don't leave me hanging. Alright.
So I got a toss up of 3 vehicles. I've got the Jeepelope, Mud Cricket, and the Coupe 9.5.
Everyone likes the Mud Cricket.
I don't
I
blame
like
him. Mud Cricket stands out. That's why everyone likes it.
I like Mud Cricket because I never thought something made from Hyundai Kia collaboration before 2008 or whenever they improved their quality of the last decade would hold up as much as that thing has. But damn, that thing has impressed me so much.
You want to hear the best part? That little Hyundai made its dealer and manufacturer very proud at Frozen Nuts. Because he towed that 7.3 Power Stroke up the mountain. I kid you not.
Correct. It was a shameful moment for Ford owners all across the world.
Ford has
But the fun, another fun
disowned
fact about the
themselves.
Mud Cricket is it's actually running, apparently it's running the radiator from the Yahude that I had in the fall run.
Okay.
Shit.
He was running beer in it all weekend, and then when he could drive home, he needed a radiator. And mine had just been scrapped because we had split the gas tank, ripped the exhaust out, and it wasn't running right. And nobody wanted to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So he went down there and he actually they hadn't even moved it out back yet.
Nice.
Nice. Scooped it.
Yep. Traded a spare wheel and $20 for the radiator.
That's
Nice.
impressive. Well, it's not like a spare would have worked anyway. He's got.
Well, the spare he had was, I believe, was the spare I gave him for my Yahude. Because I showed up over there drunk and just started handing them bits and pieces from my car. Because I didn't need them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's pretty impressive
Yeah.
for what it was and for what it's done.
I have a crazy respect for Hyundais now.
Don't
Yeah,
say that
some
too loud. My
Hyundais.
brother might come up and swipe you upside the head. His Elantra's 11.
Ah.
Yeah. It's an Elantra.
Yeah, Elantras are just terrible. Any year.
Well, I mean,
At least it's not an accent.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Could always be worse.
Um,
Favorite out-of-state gambler?
Definitely the Crown Vic. That thing was badass. The one I think
Which
was in Oregon.
one?
Yeah.
the one with the pipes.
The black one you showed me. It was up on like 35 or something, no fenders, nothing.
The one that had the staggered sizes, the 33s and the 40s?
Yeah.
Tillamook.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
it was
thing
one of their cars.
Awesome.
I thought you meant Big Vicky for a second.
No,
That was a cool car.
we should definitely get one of them.
Oh,
Done
I
this
know.
baby. Something.
I think all the older Crown Vics have found their way to demo derbies.
For the most part. But you don't have to go too old with them. I mean, you get a Lincoln up to 93, 95, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just 6 inches longer, give or take.
I stored a 93 Lincoln here. It was a
Mhm.
buddy of mine, and he ended up selling it for like $300. If I had kept all the money he paid me for storage, I could have handed him like 600 and been like, I want it. Had like 95,000 original miles on it.
See, I would daily
Just
something
had
like
those
that for a
blemishes
little
on the
while.
side.
Well, the blemishes were him drifting it into a post coming off I-90. They were going to street scene. It started raining, and if I remember right, he went off he got on the off ramp, gave it a little bit, and it just drifted. Took out a street sign and kept going.
Nice, I like
He
it.
pounded out the dents in the back with a skateboard, and then the street sign left a perfect post down the side of his driver's door.
Wow.
Other than that, that car was spotless.
It was.
They don't do too bad off-road. Stock. Till you shove the entire exhaust back 2 inches.
One thing I always wanted to run is a, what is that, Chevy Tracker. Those things aren't very
Well, it's essentially a sidekick. I can't remember his name. He used the sidekick to
Yeah.
winch out the CRV.
Oh,
It's
so
just nuts.
the
He used the
side-
seat belts inside the CRV.
I like it.
The seat,
That's okay.
the sidekick, the GMC Jimmy. Well, not the Jimmy. The Jimmy's the ST Blazer. Those suck.
Yeah,
I hate those things.
Same.
Like the Sidekick, the Samurai, all those little GM SUVs. They're just awesome. They don't weigh a whole lot, and you can
Right,
get through
but
just about
four-wheel drive
everything.
ones are
The
great.
Zuzu Amigo.
Yes.
He was a little bit bigger.
There was
Still,
one of those in the junkyard with
not
like
bad.
15 by 12s on it. I wanted the wheels, but I could only find 3 of them. Some guy bought 2 of them, and now he's got a little Nissan hardbody with like 15 by 12s on the back and then the stock wheels up front.
Oh.
It looks goofy. What else we got on the list? Recovery item of the week. Shut up, Justin.
Okay. Recovery item of the week.
A good toe strap. That'll get you just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Only if you have someone with you.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Otherwise,
yanking on it.
I've seen quite a few
Granted,
people use
they did pull the one car with manpower out. That was the, I think it was the War Pig they pulled out with just a bunch of people.
Well, there was
Oh,
20
the
of
War
them
Pig
trying
is
to ride
pretty
in the War
awesome.
Pig.
I forget which vehicle. It was either the War Pig or the Audi. We got a whole. There's a picture on the page.
No, it was the Audi, because I remember I was part of pulling that out. And then once we got it out of that little mud pit, I ended up pulling up the hill.
Was that the Audi that had the 350 in it? Or something like that?
No, it was the
No,
Audi with
no.
all the lights. That
There's
guy
all
who now
two
has
light poles.
he's the one who now has the sidekick.
Okay.
Okay.
He actually flew out to the OG and had some buy him a car, and they went to Walmart, got what they wanted, and then they drove a car out there.
Nice.
That's kind of what they've been like hinting at in both the gambler groups. They're talking about like a gambler rental service almost. Like you send us the money, we build the car, you fly in, gamble, and fly out.
Dixie Cup.
Dixie.
That's a lot of liability. That's
I
called
was just
involuntary
about to say.
manslaughter.
Well, there's different tiers for the budget. It's funny, the $500 one, it'll run, drive, and stop and be legal.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm questioning legality, but you know, it'll run, drive, and stop. I feel like that'd be a good project. Just have someone like fly out, rent a gambler, and then fly back.
That would be really cool.
My brother said if we do it, we can use that Mazda sitting in the yard and sell it to us.
Hmm.
I'd even leave the 19s on it, because they're bold.
Rip in peace.
Yeah.
Rims.
Everything.
Yeah.
I remember putting the exhaust on that car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
First time we put it up on the lift, we look at the subframe. That much of it's gone. He was like, "Don't tell Brittany." Okay.
Don't tell me. I like it.
He was like, "Don't tell anybody about that hole, by the way." Yeah, it's off the road now. It doesn't matter. The thing's cooked.
So what did you guys think about doing a gambler hotline?
Phone a friend.
No, Tyler kind of recommended, "Oh, you guys should, like, on the podcast, call an actual gambling addiction hotline." I was
Oh.
like, it'd be hilarious, but I feel like that might be some sort of felony for prank calling them.
No, it's just crossing a line.
I was like, I don't know if it's frowned upon. We'll have to look into it before we do it.
On the Gambler 500 Reddit page, somebody made a post about a month or two back asking for statistics and how our outcomes of like gambler addiction has helped us. And they had to be informed that it's not gambling. They were lost.
Oh my
Of course
god.
they were.
Well, let us know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, we could always try it sometime.
Yeah, something.
Just keep throwing dollars at my car and it just keeps getting stuck. Help me, what can I do?
LS and 40s. Okay.
Yeah, they'll get you just about do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like one of the guys up in the
Not
other
quite.
Not quite.
Because a 7.3 and mud tires couldn't do ice.
Well, yeah, good point.
True.
Well, it's like the mud pit up in the day 2 of the Adirondacks run. That was kind of a marker, so I could know where the camera was gonna have for an area. But whatever.
I thought you were advertising for them.
Yeah, advertising.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, why is there just some
Product
OxyClean
placement.
right here?
OxyClean.
Arm and Hammer.
Matco. It was like $40 for a set of those, and I could only find one. Yeah. But there was one guy who was saying the mud pit that we gambled through in the Adirondacks in the spring. He was like, the smallest tire you need to get through the part where you buried the Bronco
Yeah.
was like a 39. And I was like, ugh. I don't think any of us were even remotely close.
There were some guys who got through it coming. They were coming the other direction.
Well, yeah, because there's also that shelf. Like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, I can get through that. You get about that far into it, it just shelves.
Just
I
let
wasn't
you know.
thinking that as I drove into it. I was informed I should stay to the left. I misinterpreted that as stay as far in that pit to the left, not the detour to the left.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
It was funny because I walked up to it, or I walked up to the Bronco. I don't remember what I was doing, but I took a step off the shelf, and I went up to my knee and just mud. And I was like, well, these shoes are ruined.
Yeah, you're probably going to be towing me out a lot. Just an FYI.
Okay, I can do that. As long as I don't rip your front bumper off, we should be fine.
You're probably going to rip my axle off.
Oh yeah, you don't have any recovery points other than your axles.
We got this.
I got to just weld onto it. It'll be fine.
I could do that, just weld it.
I still feel bad about that, ripping CJ's front bumper off in the spring run.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
He's got
But then he built a new one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's got a badass bumper on
We
it
didn't
now.
realize how hung up he was, and he was like, oh, just winch me through. Okay. Rip. And we're done there.
He did add those recovery points the night before.
Ah, that explains quite a bit.
Well, I mean, at least he tried.
He did try.
Well, we put the recovery points on the bus, too, but he never needed those, did he?
Yep, we did put those on there the night before. Wisely, he didn't go down that hill.
Oh, that would have been terrible. That little John Deere would have had to pull him back out.
Yeah.
So Dixie Cup ripped those recovery points off that Subaru in that tug of war.
I didn't see the tug of war.
They weren't recovery points at that point. It was frame.
Yeah,
it was self-frame.
straight up.
Acceptable.
There's no logical
That was
reason Dixie Cup did that good. Trying in the tug of wars.
That was some shit that you had to be there for, because that was I wouldn't have believed it.
We did upset the mud people, the group of like the sand drags and those guys. The next morning, most of you guys weren't there, but he came by in one of the trucks and just sat on the rev limiter late and trying to wake people up because we were up. It was like 3 a.m. when we were doing the tug of war.
Oh,
Yeah.
They were sleeping.
Yeah.
Well, trying to.
That's no
Yeah,
good.
trying.
If we do the tug of war this year, I'll definitely try with the Toyota. I mean, 4 low, the reduction in that thing is stupid.
And there go your U-joints.
I think they're still OE, and I have one that's got a little bit of
I
land.
believe if Tyler is going to try to work on getting us actually onto the tug of war pad,
Oh, that'll be
so
great.
we're not using the
The-
road, the dirt road, not the main road.
I feel like I missed a lot in the fall.
I don't remember those people revving their engines to wake people up. I think I don't know how I slept through that.
It was Sunday, definitely.
I was there on Sunday.
As long as we don't have to wake up at 5:45 again.
But you may have been out gambling by that point. See, I didn't have a car on Sunday anymore. I was at camp.
But yeah, that was the worst part about Saturday morning, because there were so many checkpoints. He was like, "Oh, let's do driver's meeting at like 5:45." So I didn't really drink because I didn't want to be hungover at 5:30 in the morning trying to wake up.
I did.
I was about to say fuck it, right? Oh,
Thanks.
oops.
Now we're gonna get demonetized. Way to go.
Well, we can probably cut that out. Here.
Can't monetize anything. We don't own the rights to the gambler.
Exactly.
It's irrelevant.
Right.
So, fuck YouTube anyway.
Oh, holy crap.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm really excited for this gambler, this upcoming gambler.
It's a good time.
Might do a little bit to the Jeep, here and there.
You got the
but
lift at the shop. You can always.
I think I'm just gonna save that for a better Jeep.
Oh, come on.
I'm just gonna send this one.
Yeah, yes.
Send it.
It's not even like a big lift. Not gonna do much. Just
Sawzall, no lift.
Yes.
There you go.
gonna-
You got the time.
No, I do not. Oh wait.
7:57.
Cool.
Didn't you say you had to be somewhere at 8?
Yeah.
God, Nick, this is
Rip.
you.
This is my life. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
are we still recording?
What do we have for time?
58.
Oh,
Hey.
pretty good.
Perfect, because I said I wanted to go roughly an hour for the podcast, so
Right.
We got.
I think we
we
covered
got-
just about everything.
Yeah, we got most of the
Yeah.
stuff.
Because we did the
Taken care
intros,
of.
how we found it,
The
build
auto
updates and
news.
stuff like that, auto news, events of the week, talked about
Right.
tools, recovery stuff.
definitely let us know on, what we can improve on. And
Yeah. I mean, I know camera
More we
quality
can talk
is going to
about.
be the first complaint because that
Yeah.
camera is like potato quality.
Did you actually test the audio from the various?
Yes,
I
I
was
did.
thinking about that.
I tested the
I
audio.
did not think about that.
That and the microphone that I ended up buying was terrible quality, so that's still in the box upstairs.
Oh.
So,
Well, hopefully you guys can hear us.
yeah,
I
hopefully
hope
it's
so
not just
too.
the whole time. If it is, I'll just kind of punt that tablet out in the field and call it a night.
If not, you dub over with poor voiceover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would suck. I would hate to try to do a voiceover of an hour-long podcast with 4 different people.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Rest in peace.
I think that's about it for everything, so.
Yeah, future podcasts we'll get this more streamlined, so this way we get better image quality to you, the information you need, and the gamblers that you want to see.
Oh, hold on. We do have one more thing I want to go over. That I've kind of been. I totally forgot about, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Upcoming events. Because, I actually saved the world tour of 2019 for the gamblers.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Frozen Nuts, New York, we were the first one this year, so hell yeah.
Yeah, we're first!
Woo! Didn't
next,
even do it.
the next one coming up is actually tomorrow. You guys want to take a road trip tonight?
Sure.
It's
Hell yeah.
It's Oregon for Cupid's Curse.
Hell yeah!
It's more of a fly out.
Fly out, try to find a $500 beater
They
to
say
buy
that'd be
before
perfect
5
for a running
a.m.
gambler.
The issue,
Yeah,
I think
right,
what's
yeah.
the record
We're out
for
there.
the crossing the United States right now? Somewhere in like 40 hours. I
Ah,
don't think we can do it with this equipment.
Nonsense.
They had like a 2 fuel tank Audi.
I'm gonna rough
Yeah, right.
Toyota will make it.
How many quarts of oil do I need to get that 940 across the state?
Invest in BP stock at that rate.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's not miles per gallon of gamblers; it's quarts per mile.
Quarts per mile.
But
Yeah.
Cupid's Curse is gonna be tomorrow, so next week we'll be able to see all the fun results from that one, hopefully.
All the
Yeah.
sketchiness and hodgepodgery and...
Say they should have a decent amount of snow out there for that one. Yeah, I know. Gambling in the snow wasn't fun.
Yeah, I'm thinking about frostbite.
Oh, it
just
was.
thinking about
Just
that.
gotta dress appropriately. I was warm,
Like, yeah, I was definitely warm.
except for when I was sleeping.
Just the trails were a little rough at some points, and going through the ice wasn't exactly fun.
Of all of the time for my blower motor to take a crap on me, had to be the morning of Sunday morning.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that,
Let
I
us
think
know
that covers
what
everything.
we can improve on and
Next
more
week, I'll-
ideas to talk about.
Yeah, I'll still be here, but there'll be 4 new guests. 4 or
I
5 new
might stop
guests.
by.
I don't know. So, yeah, Justin might
Well,
be a
this has
consistent
been
one here.
Gamble This.
Yeah.
Gamble this!
That didn't stop it. You might have to actually click